I wish good things to you who's watching this. I am Alexey, and this is the first ever Croatia Online Carcassonne Championship. The reason why we're streaming this is because the championship is special. Of course, it's the first ever, as I said, and Croatia is a relatively new country on the international Carcassonne scene, but they are already a formidable force. They managed quite a solid performance in the World Team Carcassonne Online Championship earlier this year, and their representative Zvonimir Vlajic scored top 8 at the World Championship in Essen. So the preliminary stages happened earlier today. You can see that 17 participants were in them, and the top 8 qualified for the playoffs. So you can see all the top 8 on the screen. So one player with whom we'll be paying special attention, this is the player with a screen name Bluste. It is the aforementioned Zvonimir Vlajic, who's really responsible for getting a lot of players in to the Croatian Carcassonne scene, and then, as you see, as a result, he gets beaten by all these people. Now, about the players, we're going to talk a little bit later. First of all, let's just look at the championship bracket. Well, you can see it on the little screen anyway, but here are the pairings. This is the pairing that we're gonna follow first, and we'll try to get a glimpse of the other pairings too. All quarterfinals, semifinals, and final duel are played as a best of 3. So we're probably here for at least a good 3 hours, I would say. So buckle up, get some hot beverages, just like I did, and we're going to start with the action. So the first game is already relatively close to completion, only 10 tiles remaining in the matchup between NJA 999 and Bluste. NJA, that's Anya Sokol, so I'm gonna just use her first or last name. And I presume that NJA is derived from Anya, so yeah, now that I look at the names of the players and the screen names starts making a lot more sense. So we see that this one seems to be quite one-sided, as Zvonimir with the green meeples is 20 points ahead on the scoreboard, and also 3-1 ahead on meeples. But we can see that Anya drops her last meeple to attack the farm, which also belongs to green. This farm over here with 1, 2, 3 completed cities worth 9 points. So quite a likely invasion, but let's see if Bluste can block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... no, not really. There's still tiles that fit into that square, which is why green decides to reinvade the farm with 2 versus 1 majority. Now let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, actually, there are no curves. But Bluste also completes a city, and that makes it much harder. Oh, actually, I miscounted the tiles a little bit, so I'm a bit rusty from not streaming for a long time. All the daggers were already on the board, meaning that this city was already blocked. Hi Max, hi Hannah, hi Hugo. Green meeples are covered. Oh, green meeples are covered by the table. Thank you. I will fix this. Yeah, this actually is very easily fixable. Let me just move that a little bit further to the bottom. There we go. Hi, Esteban. Thank you, Tompa. So we already have some results in the other games. I'll keep updating that scoreboard. Lilium wins their first game. That is Leonora Jutronic Tomic, who won against Buha. That's Filip Buhinicek, who actually is already in the national team and scored second in the preliminary rounds. So you could say that's a bit of an upset. Actually, why don't we just simply look at their second game, which has kind of just started. So Buha here with the blue meeples, 12 points on the scoreboard versus Lily's 6. And a slight advantage maybe. Well, there is of course this super sensitive spot over here, which does not look good for the player with the black meeples, because there's only one tile remaining that fits into this square, and even if black draws it, this square is super easy to block. For example, well, of course, Lily's not going to put this over here, but if... ooh, that's a nice move. But let's say if Buha draws any vanilla city cap or Dorito or a cow tile over here, this, of course, will be a permanent block. And actually, it's quite difficult to defend. So we can see that black started blocking blue's road, but a blue drew a tile just in time. Could have even considered dropping a farmer there, actually. And of course, the ideal later on is that Buha will be able to draw one of the 3 crossroad tiles with a city piece and drop a farmer over there. So this looks really, really good for the player with the blue people. All right, thanks Tompa for sending in some more results. Well, that was very quick. That we already have a semi-finalist. Lorki won against Amasyunkula. And Mixer 97 won against El Tomek. El Tomek was, I think, a long-time expert already, so that's actually, again, a bit of an upset, I would say. But back to this game, which I would say is a mistake. Like, you see a field, it's worth already 9 points. It has potential for even more points. You really want to drop a farmer in places like this. I think maybe Blue's idea lies in the fact that this could be, in theory, connected. Right, we should be back and free from further disruptions. As you can see, players have made multiple moves. And most notably, Black has successfully defended their city. So it's going to be a 50-50 chance for Black recovering this meeple. And now, really, it's a game. So, for example, now we can also see that Lily has completely blocked 2 of Blue's meeples. Normally there will be 4 tiles that fit into the square, but all 4 of them are on the board. And there's still this dagger tile that fits over here. So, moreover, if I were Black, either with this move or maybe on a later move, I would go over here and drop a farmer, trying to connect the farmer into the main field whilst finishing our city at the same time. It may look super risky, but the fact is, since we're behind 23 points on the scoreboard from Black's point of view, then we really can't win without this tile. We need this tile in order to win. So we might as well maximize the effects that this tile gives us and drop a farmer over here as well, so that not only we finish the city, but we also connect to the field. Now, this is not quite the type of dagger that Black wants. It's the wrong kind of dagger, so instead Black starts a new city, and actually I quite like this idea. It is quite risky, but the idea, of course, is to finish the city with a city cap and drop a farmer, but there's a problem that Black needs to finish the farmer elsewhere. Well, I presume it's going to be quite an easy field meeple, and look at this invasion already about to happen, but Blue gets a straight line and tries to get a meeple back, which will be essential firepower for a field fight. And you see, this is why a farmer here would have been nice. Lilium, of course, still cannot complain. She's gonna finish the monastery and the city and basically equalize on the scoreboard. She's probably contemplating meepling the road, decide against it, and good for her. So it's now a game. And suddenly, after a gigantic advantage of Buha, it seems to me that Black is in the driver's seat. Even though Black is 3 points behind on the scoreboard, this big field is super open. And Blue has 2 meeples blocked, whereas Lilium already has more meeples in hand. And on top of that, she can free up this guy over here. So Buha decides to go all out on the field. A viable approach, maybe later, and try and maybe block this square. And you see what happens over here. So Lilium's playing this methodically. She's not invading just yet. She's first of all dropping another farmer for 6 points to invade over here and over here. So Black's strategy is completely clear, and in the case of a meeple majority, it makes perfect sense. Just create a big field and try to take it over. Now, Blue here could have 2 approaches. One is basically try to tie the field and hold on, maybe block off all the invasion points. Another approach, which is already too late to implement, that would be trying to either block off all the invasions or forego the field altogether and try to score points elsewhere. But it does not seem that it is that easy to do. Well, maybe. So let's say if we go over here as Blue. We score 2 points for the road, we equalize these 2 cities. And also, if we place this tile over here, kind of this city is quite volatile in itself. Well, I'm shocked about this move. It does seem to be like a mistake, because I wonder, I guess the purpose of this move is preventing an invasion, but why not just invade yourself with a third meeple to secure the field altogether? Because I see that this move eliminates the connection platform, but this threat of Black finishing the city and dropping a farmer didn't go anywhere. And also in some scenarios, Black could win even without taking over the field. So Black is of course down 8 points, but partial compensation in terms of 4 points is over here because Blue has not equalized the city. And if Black continues the city for 8 points, Black won't really need to drop a farmer. So Blue, of course, will go over here, prevent the biggest threat in Carcassonne, which would be Black finishing the city and dropping a farmer. So if Blue is methodical enough, maybe this move will absolutely pay itself off. But this is a case of just unbridled greed from Blue. I'm shocked why Blue wouldn't just go over here, because now of course Black will finish the city, drop a farmer quite easily. And even if Blue manages to successfully block this invasion over here, I think given the fact that there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 curves remaining, Black could go over here, drop a farmer. Even if this is blocked, Black could actually sneak into the farm all the way like this. And even if Black doesn't do so that will certainly put them closer on the scoreboard and allow them to maybe win with some quick points. There are some further possibilities. For example, black could draw a curve and draw a farmer like this, threatening 2 connection at the same time. First of all, already scoring 6 points for this field, but then threatening to connect like this, and also to connect like this, since there's still 2 straight roads available. So really lots of opportunities here by black. Not a great tile for Buha, really. Well, I presume it's going to go over here to block this invasion. It's kind of something that you have to play. And this would be a complete block because there are no dagger tiles available. But, again, as I said, Lily can go here, possibly dropping another farmer, or just simply waiting for a connection sequence. Lily could also go here for 6 points, hoping for the last remaining straight line, connecting to the field like this. But does she see that connection with only 2 points remaining on her clock? She absolutely does. Great farming move from Lily. Really to take out that invasion platform and also allow yourself for more invasion opportunities. Because, you know, there's this tile over here and there's still this one tile over here, and I believe placing a farm over here would have guaranteed Lily a win in this game. Now, one of the players appears to have connection issues, and I believe this is not on my side this time. Or maybe it is, I don't know. It doesn't seem that way. In the meantime, Mixer wins their game against El Tomek. Their duel against El Tomek, rather. So we already know our second semi-finalist. Lily gets a curve, which Buha needed to connect to the field. Effectively, of course, blue occupied the farming platform for black. We appear to be back. I do apologize for delaying the most dramatic events, but it appears that Buha will in fact be winning this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because I think we both might have miscounted the number of straight lines. There wasn't in fact a straight line to fit into this square, so it was essential for Lily to place a farmer here for herself. As a result, Buha will get the 3-1 farming majority, 3-2 farming majority, and that would be enough for them to win. So quite an unfortunate finish for Lily, but Still, the decider game is again for the delays. The disruptions should be less frequent from now on. At least I'll do my best. So it's pretty interesting. Of course, the massive rating favorite Bluste is not doing so well now with -13 on the scoreboard and no meeples on the board. However, he does have a lot of his green meeples on this 15-point field, and this might be just enough to put green over the edge, although I don't think so. Anya chooses to fight for the field, which I'm not even sure is necessary at this point, because so she's 19 points on the scoreboard. The field is worth 12. Oh, but doesn't matter. She gets there anyway and gets the 8 point for the field. And actually, that was a really good move, because look at this. Not only this tile, but also this tile was suitable for her as well. So that's very nice vision. In fact, she had a 2 and 3.6% chance to connect successfully. And given the fact that green has all kinds of other stuff on the board, such as Juicy Ruin over here, it appears that this connection may have been necessary. So, congratulations for Anya for taking down the rating favorite and heading into their decider. I prefer to try watching to decide. Wait. Did I get the wrong? Did I get the wrong screen? Yes, I got the wrong screen. Sorry about that. So I just realized that I was commenting on this game, like whilst I was looking at it on a different screen. So that's a bit unfortunate, but basically what you need to know is that Bluste won. With no, Bluste lost. With oh no, okay, they have just started. I want to watch the decider of. I want to watch the decider, the other decider. Wait. I'm getting lost here. Yeah, this is the game I want to watch. Because it only has started 2 minutes ago, and we saw that the previous game was relatively close. And then we'll come back to Bluste and Anya after these guys have finished. Alrighty, so advantage for Philip with the blue meeples with 11 extra points on the scoreboard and an early monastery and a setup for a 9-point monastery over here that actually looks already to be quite one-sided. And of course Lily gets some quick points, but it is Philip with an early 6-point farmer. Lily's trying to build up her city on the right, does not invade yet. And now this is a very interesting tile which Buha tries to use to invade the city, which is a legit option. Another legit option was simply to ignore the city and try to develop a city with lots of small castles. I believe this option is actually best, because the thing is, before Buha can properly fight for the field, before he gets his meeples back, right? Because he needs this monastery. He needs to either get this monastery himself or wait for Lily to draw the monastery and score the 9 points. Because Blue, in this situation, wants to avoid creating a big field, because Blue doesn't have the firepower to fight for it yet. So Blue's really taking just, the scoring, aggressive scoring route with these monasteries, stacking approach. We're going to see straight line over here soon enough. And in the meantime, blue really shouldn't even add cities to this field. This farmer is here mostly for insurance. And actually, many ways how you win this game as blue is you just ignore the farm, you allow your opponent to take over, but then you win simply as a result of these monasteries and based off the fact that your opponent needs to spend time and energy, time and tiles invading that field. So that would be a possible winning plan. And also, what I really like about this position here for blue is that now, even with the super majority of Lilian's meeples, it's not easy for her to invade the field. Well, I guess now she has created, well, actually, there was an excellent move by black. So first of all, created some pressure against this point, which now, of course, Buha successfully deals with. But if not for this curve, you could imagine a Dorito over here and 2 monasteries blocked. And also, this is still an invasion point. So a tile which black could draw is this triple crossroads. And a farmer here would be great. With a curve, completing 4 points for road, getting a meeple in. So certainly some ideas there. Blue connects to black city and prevents black from getting a super majority, but black, of course, will now reinvade. Buha builds up his monastery, this time without a meeple, which is probably quite wise because blue doesn't really have a lot of meeples to spare, since blue will now kind of need to fight for the city. Honestly, as blue, I'm not even sure you finish the city first. I think you might need to reinvade here first, and then deal with the city later. So that is quite risky, actually, because if black draws a tile over here, that's kind of it, because this square is very, very difficult to access. Actually, it takes multiple moves to even try creating a platform for blocking or invasion. So it is quite fortunate for blue that Lily doesn't get a Dorito tile here. Presumably she's going to do a farming move. I don't like this move at all. I think she should have gone over here, but she actually makes a move which looks like it's restricting the monastery, but in reality is helping the monastery, because you see there are all 4 starting tiles remaining. They're all 4 on the deck. So actually it was very easy to block this monastery with just 1 move, but now it is no longer possible. So some difficulties here for Lily. For example, now she needs this tile in several places. She needs to score 4 points for the city in order to clean off the city cap and not allow Philip easy points. She also needs this here to free up her city, and she also needs it here to try and score 4 points for this road. She decides simply to close her city here, which I think is a bit too conservative, because look at this, what Philip is trying now. It's actually quite brilliant. So the idea is to invade this city from this side and then to block off this square. Yeah, this is exactly what is happening right now. This is great playing here from Philip. Then, of course, later, check this out. Buha is gonna draw a tile that goes over here, prevents further invasions of the city, blocks the square because all of the 3 cow tiles are no longer available. They're already on the deck. And for the same reason, this square will be super easy to block. Look at this. There's this 3-point road. There is still 4 crossroads remaining. So, blue could simply draw crossroads, get 4 points, creates a blocking platform, and if Lily doesn't draw a defensive tile, then just simply sticking a straight road would completely do the job. That's a nice move by Lily here. preventing the idea that I was saying, you know, maybe drawing a extender and blocking this road meeple. Yeah, now Lily's in a pickle because she can't go over here. I don't think she can afford to take those 4 points. What she probably has to do is either a road move or some sort of farming move. Like, she actually might drop a farmer here. And honestly, I think like even dropping a farmer might be better than 2 points, because the problem with this move is, I mean, 2 points is great, but it also takes out a farming platform. Okay, so this is a fantastic tile for Lily. All this threat that I was talking about has been successfully eliminated, but Buha will just be happy to pick off the 4 empty points. And relatively even game right now. Lily with the meeple advantage. She needs to fight for the farmer soon. Maybe she's gonna pick off the 4 empty points at first. That would kind of make sense. And then do invasions later. There are multiple field invasions platforms available. So she could draw... Oh, actually, I realized that it will now be impossible for her to finish this road. Well, technically it is still possible, but it's so unlikely. She will need to get multiple tiles that fit into this square. But basically she can kiss this meeple goodbye. So she decides to go for the immediate farming route. Buha gets the monastery. And now Lily needs to find the only move that gives her a good chance at winning this game. Of course, she needs to go over here and farm this 6-point field. Hoping for the last remaining curve, which would allow her to bring 2 farmers in at the same time. And it's also super important to play this move right now, because this would eliminate the same opportunity from Buha. Because with whichever tile, even if it's a road monastery, doesn't matter. It's super urgent for Blue to go over here and invade this farm like this. And actually, if she goes over here now, this would be really difficult for Buha to reinvade, because in order to take advantage from this 6-point field, Buha would need to place a tile over here, which would be helping Lilium's road, but also there are really not that many tiles like this remaining in the first place. Yeah, and unfortunately, I think this is the move that will decide the game. Of course, immediately we can see that the play with the blue meeples is super happy to jump on this opportunity. So it's really those field fighting skills that come with experience, and just show how much the skill level of these two players is different. Like this was a great idea over here. Just all Black needed to do is to follow up. Of course, now she goes for the scoring route. She's probably going to meeple a monastery, but like none of that will be enough. Because, okay, well, let's say, well, I mean, there's still options. There's still options. So let's say she finishes this monastery somehow. And let's say, imagine if this tile weren't here, because I think now this is really game over for Buha. And game over for Lilium, and Buha will be winning this. Because there was the outside chance of this 6-point farmer getting the monastery tile here or here and joining the big farm. And then maybe Black could find an invasion opportunity later elsewhere. Well, actually, now that I think about this, if Buha doesn't go over here, there may be some chances of Black going over here with a curve, and then Blue somehow not being able to invade here. It's possible. But even then, Lily would need to draw another tile that allows her to somehow invade the main field. So one possible invasion that I see is like over here through the outside of a curve through a straight line like this. This of course is risky because there's still one crossroads remaining to separate the farmer, but given the scoreboard difference, it's something that Black might have to resort to sooner or later. As for that, all right, we do seem to be sort of kind of back, sort of kind of. So what am I having here? Lily with a cow tile. Probably should go over here trying to break Philip's city. In the meantime, how is the highest rated player of Croatia doing right now? We're going to see shortly. And Lily does not block the city. Probably hoping that Blue doesn't draw any city cap over here. Actually, what Blue could do, Blue could go over here and try to finish this huge road all by himself. This is probably what I would do in their situation. However, Lily could still draw a tile that fits here like a crossroads, which would allow her to take all of these road points. Yeah, Lily could actually still win this. Maybe going over here, setting up a crossroads perhaps. Or maybe going over here, finishing the shared city and blowing up the game wide open. I don't think you want to give Blue new meeples to work with and a tempo, but it's a possibility. If Lily can find a way to get a majority on the field, this could work. No, instead she adds one road point, and of course Buha will be super happy to get a crossroads. 6 easy points. Lily with a curvy tile. I wonder if there's an invasion possible. Maybe something over here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah, well, there is one straight line, technically. So we could, well, you know what we could do? We could even go for a greater Hail Mary and go invade over here, drop a farmer like this, and try to invade here whilst also getting a meeple back. Another opportunity which I really like. Yeah, you know what? How about we try and use the fact that there's still a dagger remaining. And if I'm not mistaken, there's 2 of those remaining. So probably as Lily, the best move is going over here, dropping a farmer like this. Yes, and invading the field through the city. Will she find this? Will she? Unbelievable. This is great recognition here from Lily. A very good, high-scoring, well, high-probability opportunity. Buha. And she draws it immediately. And she also gets to prolong her road. Okay, now it's a game. And I believe if only she draws the last curve, which would fit here, she might even... Well, she will win the field. She's probably not going to win the game just because Buha gets to finish the city. But I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... Yeah, there's a curve remaining. So she could absolutely invade, unless I'm miscounting, which is a real possibility. So this is going to be fairly close. It seems to me that the other game has finished. We'll see the results soon enough. Okay, I already get the spoiler in the chat from Hannah that Bluste did won, so we congratulate Zvonimir for being the third semi-finalist. Sadly, Lilium doesn't draw an invasion, but the 9-point field is also ain't that bad. So plus 15 on the field, no, plus 12 on the fields eventually for Lily. That was just a great sequence. Too sad it didn't work out in full. Oh well, Buha did manage to equalize the 6-point field with a 9-point field. So really, quite a close game of some opportunities until the very end, and absolutely spectacular idea with the invasion through this big city, but just not quite enough. So I noticed that a lot. And sometimes players who are a bit newer to the game and the learning farming, they can see all the opportunities, but the timing, like the feeling of the timing of when to invade, is something that comes a lot later with experience. So it was probably possible for Black to seize control of the field whilst Blue was developing the monasteries. Later, of course, it was a bit more difficult. Well, actually, wait a second. Let us count. Imagine if the tiles were reversed. So with the last move, Blue got 6 points, right? 3 for the road and 3 for the farmer equalization, equalizing a 6-point farm with a 12-point farm, actually. Oh, okay. So that was even. So that was actually plus 9 points. Okay. And Black also got 9 from this 9-point field. If the tiles were reversed, then Buha would get the same 9 points with the blue meeple over here, but Lily would get 3 for the road plus 1, 2, 3, 4 extra points from invading and taking over the big field. 4 extra cities. So that would be 6 points more only, yeah. So she would need to have something else going for her as well. That's quite interesting. Well, anyway. Well, we appear to be back. And the semifinals have already started. And both players are playing really quick. So let's now try make of this position. Game 1, 55 tiles remaining. Bluste with the green meeples, Lorki with the blue meeples. Lorki is Lorena Erstich. Now also, yeah, the screen names make sense. A kind of, the Croatians have a very uniform style of making their screen names. They're just gonna take a piece of their name. It's not a whole name. It has to be a piece of their name, and then maybe add some numbers in. Yeah, that's kind of how it works. So, very interesting situation here. I kind of like almost shocked at this move at Bluste. Okay, so look at this move. This tile, which unifies a farmer. However, a monastery finished for green. That's kind of nice. Lorki gets 3 points for a road. Bluste continues the city. Now drops a farmer. Yeah, and just like that, green has equalized. So this is very, very interesting recognition on green's part that conceding the city wasn't as bad as potentially conceding 3 meeples. So a relatively equal game. Now some vulnerable squares here. I believe that Bluste now needs to go over here, as weird as it may seem, but this square is super, super important. And this is exactly what happens. Presume we're going to see a meeple here. Well, this should be meeple. Yes. Man, this is exciting. This like super open, volatile position. Okay, so Lorki can do a variety of things. She can drop a farmer here, which would make sense. She can drop a farmer here, which is super interesting. So look at this. She can invade through the big monastery like this, or she can also invade through the outside. And if she never invades here, this will mean that Bluste will never get to complete this city. So it's relatively even trade-off, meeple for meeple. So lovely farmer over here. And honestly, like if Lorki could just go here soon enough, that would make this even harder for her. How interesting. So Bluste tries to invade, but I think this is actually a mistake, as Bluste would probably try to go here instead. And Lorki successfully finishes her city over here with 14 points advantage, but a fantastic tile for Bluste, 9-point farmer, meeple back. This is absolutely, absolutely great. Now Lorki very, very urgently needs to take this platform. I would say don't even bother finishing this road, maybe. But she doesn't finish this road. She takes 2 points. She wants to be extra greedy, well, or extra efficient, kind of getting these 2 curves. Wow, that is just madness going over here on the board. Just points everywhere. Look at this. There's this monastery spot being prepared. Green is about to drop a farmer here. I mean, this is just lovely stuff. All right, Bluste gets a 9-point monastery, which is absolutely huge for them. Lorki has to... Well, actually, I'm not sure what she has to do. She has several candidate moves. Like, she has to think here. An option, of course, is drop a farmer here. But I believe she could do that later. She could also take 3 points over here. But I think the best move is actually going... Well, here's an option, invading a farmer as well. I believe slightly stronger was actually going over here and preventing Bluste from finishing this city and dropping a farmer. Bluste continues his city on the right, hoping to get 2 more Doritos, get 8 points in meeple back, and some firepower for fighting on the field. Still -9 and a meeple for Green. What does Green do here? Maybe going here, eliminating some quick point scoring options and also starting to harass Lorki's city. That's an option. Lorki invades the field and Green city. Currently majority on the field for blue. Well, and luckily that's also going to soon turn into a super majority once somebody draws this tile over here. But now that I think about this, maybe there is a way for Zvonimir to win without the field. So let's say maybe we get a monastery, get 9 points and a meeple back with another 9 points. And then after that, we get something like a cow tile over here. And we isolate this lone 9-point farmer, which could, with just a couple more tiles, turn into a 12-point farmer. And then what we're trying to do is to make sure that with all this extra investment of meeples, Lorki only has 3 extra cities on this field, because let's say these 3 cities would be shared. This approach would of course require that Green draw the monastery. Well, another possible approach would be for Green to get a meeple back and just fight for the field, which would be a bit more traditional. But this would require them to have more meeples. So Lorki's kind of playing into Bluste's strategy potentially. So this move makes it a bit harder for this meeple to invade. Bluste trying to block Lorki's city at the bottom. Which, oh wait a second, that's an uncharacteristic mistake from Zvonimir here. And I'll tell you why. You see, there is still 1 starting tile remaining. So, even if Bluste places a tile over here, blue will still have one more chance to draw a tile and get a meeple back. On the other hand, 1, 2... Oh no, it actually doesn't matter. Yeah. So there are 2 dagger tiles over here. So if... so even if green were to try to block this meeple from the other side, this would still leave blue one more chance. So never mind what I said. Well, both players keep getting these road tiles, so the game has slowed down quite a bit as they're trying to extract value from seemingly meaningless tiles, probably, you know, blocking attempts. They look great. Lorki tries to prevent Bluste from finishing a big city, and there we go. Finally, we have a proper block. Well, it's a 50-50 block because there's still a tile that fits into the square. Lorki gets a scoring tile. I'm pretty sure 4 points will come down quite quickly. And they, in fact, do. Monastery for Bluste. Now, this is decision time. Do we fight for the field or not? Minus 15 on the scoreboard. That's kind of a big deal. Because if we do fight for the field, then we probably have to go here and bring our meeple closer to the field, and then we hope to invade, and this is exactly what he does. He wants to preserve a bit more flexibility. And actually, I can see some invasion opportunities. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's still a Dorito out there. And we could go here and drop a farmer. Or we could just go here and drop a farmer as either of these 2 players. Now, if we do this as green, it could seem counterintuitive because we are allowing our opponent, you know, invading our slightly bigger city. But the 2 points won't make that much of a difference this game. It's really just a way to find an invasion platform. That's what matters more. Lorki with a cow tile trying to find good productive use for it, doesn't do that, simply dumps it. Well, actually, this is kind of productive, so if she gets one more of those, she could go over here, which would in turn make it harder for Bluste to place something over here, which he would do in order to block that square. But basically my main point is that this was a move which actually does something, believe it or not. So maybe a fraction of a percentage point in terms of win probability added, but this is what you want. You want to make a move which helps increase your winning chances ever so slightly, as opposed to making a move which doesn't increase your winning chances. That's a surprising move from Lorki, creating one more invasion platform. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there's still one curve remaining. So Bluste could in theory go over here and drop a farmer at some point. And now actually he needs to decide, like, does he need to invade? I think he does. I think we need to place this monastery over here as green. He decides that he wants some more patience, but I don't agree with that. I think it was an excellent opportunity to go over here and then maybe get a Dorito and go over here and drop another farmer. Because it seems to me that Bluste is not really winning this without the field, especially given the fact that Lorki has other threats, like finishing this city. Okay, Bluste does get the big road monastery. And he does get the meeples back. Now it will be just a game of chicken. So does blue wants to connect in green to get the 9 extra points and risk re-invasion of the farm by a third meeple? And also, like, does Bluste want to invade over here? I kind of think he does. It's not easy to invade, but there are some other platforms, so maybe we could use this platform to invade. Let me think about this. Yeah, I think it's actually still doable. If we get a city tile plus a dagger, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there are no daggers remaining. No, so Bluste decided to keep it separate. That's very interesting. Does he think he can win without the field? I don't think he can. Okay, so now... That was a very quick move. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he can win without the field. I am on the edge of my seat right now. I don't think he can win without the field. Like, I don't think that's possible. Maybe using this point as an invasion? Yeah, this looks exceptionally difficult for the Croatian. Oh, he tries to finish that city. That's still possible. I don't think it is, but it sure looks scary for Lorki. Yeah, I don't think there are any city caps remaining still in the deck, although that would have been cool. High Void. Yeah, unfortunately still behind on my channel, trying to still prepare a piece of content, so the plan is certainly to get back up and running by the end of the year with more regular streams and uploads. Once in a while, I do get actually like messages on Board Game Arena and comments on YouTube like, hey, like, where are you? Where are your videos? I do appreciate them a lot. They're coming back. But what's not coming back is Green's winning chances in this game. Mostly that was just a great field game by Lorki securing an 18-point farm early on with very limited opportunities for what Green could do, even though there was a lot of scoring involved, and Green got this farmer and this 8-point city and loads of monasteries. Green got 27 points from monasteries and all of that. Not enough. We get news that Buha wins the first game, and actually I think we will follow that duel next, because we haven't really seen any games by Mixer97, who is Bernard Jelčić. Let me already start opening it. Oh, they're just about to start. That was, of course, our quarterfinals match, which we can now close. Oh, they do have a 5-minute break, okay. Well, wait, my connection seems to be fine. So, what's going on here? Let's just do a refresh. Yeah, all good. Lorki did decide to block the city, which of course was needless because there wasn't a city cap remaining, but it didn't make that much of a difference. Oh, only 2 points! I didn't realize it was this close. So apparently this big ruin, it did mean something. Well, anyway, congratulations to Lorena. And let's see if the highest rated player in Croatia can come back. They do appear to be taking a break. Well, good for them. I'll probably do the same, actually. I haven't imbibed a hot beverage in quite some time now. Right, and I'll see you back in like 2 minutes or something. Wonder why this doesn't appear to be going so well. Despite my connection actually being fine. Maybe something on BGA's end. Well, there we go. Just started. Alrighty, second game of the semifinals. Buha versus Mixer. Buha with blue meeples. His opponent with the red. Red is ahead 2 points on the scoreboard. But overall, Red is not doing great in this mini battle over here because look at this. The road is blocked, or almost blocked for just 1 point. But Buha here has already a 5-point monastery, and it can turn into an 8-point monastery easily. But also, the main problem with the situation here is that Blue can control when and if this road gets continued. So ideal what Blue wants to do. Blue wants to get another monastery, maybe a city tile over here, and then, only then, place a tile over here, which would get Blue a meeple back and complete his monastery, but it wouldn't get Red a meeple back because it wouldn't complete Red's road. It would only prolong Red's road. So this would be a plan. And as Red
also, like, it's quite difficult to do something about this. So the best you can do as red is enjoy your advantage on the scoreboard, which red has as a result of finishing, well, this city and this road over here. So red is overall doing quite well. Especially now, red managed to prevent blue's invasion into the shared city over here. They choose not to start a new city. They simply dump this over here, and blue very aggressively invading this city. I rather like it, but Mixer here can certainly consider a move like this, trying to block the square. Instead, they go for a more traditional approach of trying to get a 6-point city, which I fully endorse. A bit of a misstep from Buha here. Was actually better to turn this tile the other way, because now Mixer can easily defend the square and get themselves a 4-point loop road. That's a problem. And you see, if Buha were to turn this tile like this, then there would also be some threats of maybe getting a big tile and blocking this square and getting rid of this meeple by red. So you could say a subtle decision, but a huge difference. So I now like red's position much more, despite this monastery by blue. The monastery by blue is great, by the way. Like, it controls red's city, but there are still plenty of tiles that that fit into this square. And in some scenarios, let's say red gets something like 6 points for the city, 2 points for this road, and then gets 2 more points and blocks this square and does not allow this meeple to come back. In the meantime, nice road pattern recognition by Mixer, starting a 5-point road, which he'll be able to finish with just any of the 6 remaining straight lines. Buha finishing his city, will continue his city in the north. Now Mixer with a variety of strong options. So both of them are a bit crazy. Well, not that crazy. This is one of the strong options. I would have preferred the road pointing upwards, but this was one of the idea. Another idea was placing it over here with the road pointing down, kind of hoping for one of the 3 remaining daggers to get the 3 extra points. A third option, which I really would have enjoyed, was going over here, starting a 3-point monastery, preventing, threatening a block or an invasion. Instead, Mixer simply spends a move on creating a blocking platform. Well, now a fantastic tile for Mixer, but decision time. Does Mixer go over here and simply secure this square at the top, which is also kind of vulnerable, or do they go over here? And this is exactly what they do. They simply try and prevent a bigger disaster scenario, because with just any Dorito tile, blue was ready to get a 20-point city for themselves. Alrighty, so red doing not too bad. Getting a meeple back from a 5-point road, perhaps considering dropping a farmer, but then thinking better of it. Now also this is an interesting situation. As we can see, Buha adds 1 point to his road. Mixer now with a variety of options could just start a new city over here, or could complete the connection over here. But this is quite dangerous, because Buha could draw exactly what he does. And of course, even if it's just the last meeple, you have to go over here, just because the upside is so high. There's still 4 Doritos remaining in the deck, and if Buha draws one of them anytime soon, surely that will give him a great advantage. Here, Mixer a bit premature, with a slightly premature block, because since this was the last tile of its kind, I believe that Mixer should have waited for a road tile to make sure that the block is 100%, because look at this, 1, 2, 3, all 3 triple cities with the road are on the board, so it was better to try and commit this square to a non-existent triple city with a road, making sure a complete block. Now it's only a 50-50 block, because still the quadruple city tile is lurking somewhere in the deck. So Buha here was trying to block the square over here. Which would block not only their own monastery, but also Mixer's 2-point city, leading them to a winning mini battle. And now kind of Mixer needs to decide, does he concede this city? Or does he want to go over here and take 4 points? Or does he want to try and draw a tile that fits into the square? And I think it was actually correct for him to score 4 points over here. The reason why I don't like that move is because Mixer already needs this tile over here, which he gets now. But it's a great question. Do you go here or do you go here? I believe it's probably best to go here and drop a farmer. That's why I didn't like that move one bit. See, it's the last tile of its kind, and Red needs it in both places, and I agree with Red's priority, but of course these 4 points would have been very, very nice for Red. And now Blue successfully completes a 20-point city, goes to +8 on the scoreboard. Both players have loads of meeples, but Red not really doing all that great. Well, the good thing for Red is that he has this 12-point field. And he has the tempo as well. So he might, I think what he needs to do now is actually, that is so brilliant. That is such a counterintuitive move, but that was awesome. So a natural move would have been to go over here and score a 9-point field because it's the biggest field available. But instead, Red recognizes the peculiar geometry of the field and scores a 6-point field instead, hoping to later expand it to 9 points. And he does this to prevent Buha from invading from here. This is just excellent geometry recognition from Mixer. And if he somehow ends up winning this game, this will be the reason why. Now, Phillips tried to invade the field at the bottom, as he should. Mixer decides to go over here without meepling the monastery, which could be true, but I think this really required a lot of thinking. And I think, as Red, we actually should have meepled this monastery because there are still 2 regular monasteries and a couple of curves remaining. So it was actually possible to still finish it. And now that Buha invades the farm, it will be difficult for Mixer to come back. Well, at least these 4 points will help for starters. And then maybe later on he finds some way to invade the main 12-point field as well. So let's see. Buha builds up the field at the bottom. Mixer with a straight line, not the best possible tile. I'm wondering, can we build the field like all the way here? Trying to connect it like this? Probably not enough time to do that. So instead he tries and block, to go and create a blocking platform against Blue's impending 8-point city. Oh, thank you for advising me, Tompa, that the quadruple city tile was discarded early on, meaning that this move over here was in fact a complete block, so nothing fits into this square. So this is actually quite convenient that Red doesn't need to worry about this. What Red does need to worry about is the scoreboard as it reaches 50 for the play with the blue meeples, minus 14, and I doubt that this field will be enough. Because let's say 2-1. Yeah, so at the moment, Blue is up 11 points overall, even if you count all the field. So this means that field invasion is not even enough for Mixer, which is why I really would have loved this monastery move over here, because he needs to score points and get to meeple back and invade the field. So I think the plan for him is something like, I don't even know. Well, it does appear that it needs to start with Loop Road, Instead, he goes for another interesting idea, which can't blame him for it. So the idea of this move is to create platforms for ninja invasions. These are, of course, options to go through the outside of a curve like this, or like this. So there are two possible directions how he could sneak through an outside of a curve, and with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, actually no crossroads remaining, this would be a great invasion opportunity. So he probably has to do that now. Yes, and then after that, maybe even meeples the road and finishes it, something like this. Oh, okay, Buha has an excellent move. Farmer, yeah? No. You got... No. This move was way better with a farmer. Because the idea was, if Mixer gets a curve and invades, then Buha would get a monastery and re-invade. Because I don't think this 1-point meeple is really all that valuable. Well, I guess it has some value because Mixer is now not able to grab these for cheap points. Well, let's see what he does instead. He might actually have to go over here to protect the invasion, but he doesn't. He decided he needs to be more efficient. He just wants to set up another city on his field. He wants to set up a 7-point move. So here I believe Buha has quite an easy victory. The move for Buha is to meeple this road. Yeah, exactly. This is so annoying. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because if Mixer connects to the field, he will help Blue's road as well. This is fantastic recognition from his part. Okay, so Mixer actually has a decent move here. I think he should maybe go here, because this would bring another city into his field once he connects. Something like this, yeah. And maybe he could even meeple this monastery. Wrong side, sadly. Wait, I mean, he will successfully connect to the field, but too little, too late. So, of course, the coin flip for the city cap has been lost by Mixer, but even without this, Buha would have had this just by a couple of points, and what an excellent recognition with this road by Blue, and this city takeover, which allowed them to surge into the lead from a difficult position. So congratulations to Philip for winning their first game of... Oh wait, is that already the second one? Yeah, that's the second one, right? That's the second one. Okay, so we have our first finalist. In the face of Filip Buhinicek. 90 against 76. It's a bit like it's slightly funny for me reading this. I'm a native speaker of Russian, and I know that hvala means thank you in well, Croatian and a bunch of other Slavic languages, but hvala in Russian means like praise or glory. So it's like a very submissive way of saying thank you. You know, glory to you for winning this game. I mean, I know that of course this is not what they mean, but anyway, a bit of a linguistic curiosity as a digression. Let's now have a look at how Bluste is doing. Aha, so they do appear to be having a tiebreaker. So we've picked the right time to start watching them. quite a narrow win for Bluste. Oh wait, so they haven't started their tiebreaker. Oh, that's lovely. We will get to see the entire tiebreaker. How awesome is that? Two very close games. First of all, Lorki winning with 100 versus 99, and then Bluste winning with a 5-point difference. Although the first game wasn't really that close, it seemed there was only 2 points, but I didn't really see any potential paths for Bluste to get to win, despite there being only a 2-point difference, because like Lorki was just ever so slightly ahead all the time. All right, are we having another 5-minute break or something? It does appear to be the case. Well, here you can see the bracket in full, in case you need it doubled. And in 1 minute, we will be restarting. Every time I stream Croatian games, I have to compliment this design of their meeples. You know, the checkered uniforms, just like the football players have. This, of course, from the Croatian coat of arms. Although one thing I don't know, like the crown, this one I don't know the significance of. So if somebody could advise in the chat, that would be helpful. All right, and away we go. As Bluste is the starting player, starts by getting a 2-point road, then both players trade 4-point city. It's a relatively even game, and very interesting how Lorki chooses not to invade the road, but instead she goes for an early farmer. I would have probably preferred the road invasion, and it really, all the difference is whether it's a road or a straight line. If it's a straight line, the field is actually surprisingly more restricted. So imagine this. If green were to draw something like a starting tile, and he would place it here, and then suddenly there's the threat of making a 12-point road and boxing blue in. Well, not anymore, as blue sort of managed to develop her farmer a bit further, and also prevent any further invasions. But it's like when you meeple a farm with a restrictive tile, such as a straight line or a cow, then there's always the risk of that farm getting restricted. It's not a big risk, but it does exist. Well, not going to happen in this game. So Lorki continues her road and creates an invasion platform against Bluste's city. Or now she could just continue her road and start a new city. But which way? That's actually quite interesting. Yeah, so this is one of the options, but I think turning it the other way was also completely legit. Slight misstep here for Bluste. It was actually better to score 2 points pointing the road the other way. It's because it's safer for the city. See, so in some scenarios, you get these Doritos, and now, let's say if Lorki gets a big tile, it's quite possible to block the square in some scenarios because there's a piece of road pointing into it. So a bit of an imprecision for Zvonimir, but so far everything's even on the scoreboard, and he gets away with it, finishes a 10-point city, and with that he has the advantage and a 9-point counter field here potentially. So Lorki finishes her city and fights for this other field. Now, some potential winning strategies for Bluste could include developing this field and just ignoring this field, hoping that this field doesn't grow too big. And this would allow to create an artificial meeple advantage on this side of the board. Whether that's doable, I'm not exactly sure. I think it all depends on this meeple over here. Yeah, you see, that's why kind of Bluste is trying to be quite urgent about this, right? So, because if Lorki gets this meeple back soon enough and finishes this city, and then somebody plays this 9-point monastery, then suddenly this field can grow out of control, and there aren't even obvious invasion points for it. So he's trying to block the square now, and even if he's not successful, this is a great option to delay the development of this meeple and keep Lorki at a temporary meeple disadvantage, and also to make her face a dilemma. Imagine if she draws a monastery. She wants to go over here, but that's her last meeple. And if she goes over here, now there's the risk of this square getting blocked and her losing 2 meeples now. So in some scenarios, she might not do that, and Bluste would be saving himself 9 points. And another reason why I really like this move a lot, as we can see, sort of players are exchanging natural moves and finishing and developing their cities and so on and so on. I want to talk about this move a little bit more. Is the reason why I want to mention this is because, like, imagine if, let's say, Lorki does get this tile that she needs early on, but then she'd be placing it over here, possibly completing Green's monastery without guarantee that she's completing her city, because she still needs 1 more city cap over here. And this will still leave some time for Bluste to try to invade and equalize that city, or block that city, not here, but here, like somewhere here, with a curve and another curve, something like this. Whoa, what a creative move from Lorki, and I actually really like this. It's super annoying. And Bluste now needs to spend a tile on defense. He has to do that. So, of course, the threat here... Yeah, exactly. So Bluste now makes a really, really nice defense. And I'm not sure if the second meeple is overkill. Maybe not. No, I really like the second meeple here. So, of course, the idea behind this move was preparing to draw a straight line and block the square, disallowing Green the completion of his juicy city. Bluste gets 4 points with one of the 3 tiles that would have fit into that place. Now, very interesting dilemma for Lorki. So, do you go over here and try to invade that city? I don't think that you do. I'd rather leave them alone, because there's actually... It's not that easy to finish that city. And... Nah, I think that's a misstep. I mean, there were only 2 city caps remaining there anyway. And there were still options for Lorki to draw one of the 2 remaining triangles. But then she could just place the triangle over here and try to tie the 2 cities together. On the other hand, the threat of completing the city was actually quite severe, so we certainly can't blame Blue for it. And now, fantastic move by Blue, pre-building a 6-point road, creating an opportunity to sort of score these 6 points without having to risk a meeple. But this wasn't just a move, there was a sequence of moves, because earlier on, Lorki used this tile to start a new city. And I guarantee you that she was starting this city with this tile in mind. So with this road in mind already. Now Lorki chooses not to invade this city, which I'm a bit surprised. I guess she doesn't want to risk her monastery. So I'm pretty sure soon we're going to see a Whoa, that's interesting. I thought we'd see a tile here or here, but she wants to go and restrict the city a little bit further. Not sure if that's the way to go about this, but that's the decision that has been made. Bluste now draws the second cow, and now he's thinking whether it's worth to take these 6 points, and I think the answer is yes. Because if you're doing this, well, first of all, you're taking the 6 points. Second, you're not allowing to take your opponent the 6 points. And third, you are giving yourself some chances. Well, how did that work out? Lorki's super happy to see this as she's able to get the 9 points for the monastery without having to invest a meeple. But you see, but at the very least, Bluste gets to equalize here. And probably as Lorki, given that you're a bit behind, you might want to go here and reinvade. Yeah, let's go. It's a bit risky, but the upside's really nice. Bluste is now with the decision. Does he go over here and use the fact that Lorki doesn't have a meeple? She can't invade this tile over here, so he can develop his city safely. An alternative for him would be going over here and trying to block all these cities. Now, how interesting! Look at this. Lorki decides to not finish her city, but instead she recognizes the threat of green completing his city. So instead she goes for the block. This is fascinating. And that kind of makes sense because there's still 3 tiles remaining that fit into that square. So quite a decent chance. But of course, this gives Bluste some chances to block. Now Lorki absolutely needs to go with the curve over here and prevent some blocking opportunities. But we need to count whether we turn it this way or that way. He chooses to turn it inwards. I believe it is correct. Of course, there's one disaster tile if Bluste draws the last cow, which he doesn't. You would have gone over here and scored 3 points. And I really questioned this move a lot. Because he kind of restricts the city a little bit further, but there's still 2 tiles that fit into this square, whereas he still had some blocking chances. And look at this, Lorki indeed gets her city. And on top of that, the field is completely secure. I mean, she's playing really, really well. I'm kind of now starting to get worried for green as well. I mean, position is fantastic for blue. Invasion over here. Real discipline over here, trying to thwart the development of this city. Yeah, like how does green possibly come back from this? He decides to simply start a new city. Lorki takes 2 points, and look at this. She doesn't even bother finishing her road at the top. And I think this is the case because she doesn't want to create an attacking platform for the field. Because there are some combinations possible, like with a Dorito and a city cap, for example. So imagine this. Lorki goes here, gets a meeple back. Then Bluste goes here, drops a farmer, and then goes here, finishes the 6-point city, connects the farmer from the field, and then maybe even invades later. So that's great recognition on her part. And look at this. What is he trying? Is he trying to invade the field like this? Oh, no, 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 no. Ah, Lorki with a misstep. And look at this. Now Bluste can absolutely swindle this game. So first of all, he has already equalized this field. What a sequence here. Going all the way like this. And Lorki just being a bit too impatient with this. Maybe not recognize. Of course, she wanted to block the square, but actually she ended up helping the connection. And now Bluste is going to drop a farmer here. and try connect like this. And there are 2 spots how to connect. Man, this is fascinating. And this is a high probability fields connection with 3 monasteries in the deck and a couple of tiles that go here, I believe. Also, Lorki has not yet connected here, and there's only 1 triangle remaining. Well, Lorki does get one of the monasteries, but how does she win this? Maybe she wants to go here and actually help Bluste connect to the field, sacrifice the field, and then simply try to use her advantage on the scoreboard to try and outscore him. And this is what she does. She's meepling this, because she recognized that Bluste could have connected anyway. And there is a monastery that she could use over here. Or potentially some reinvasion opportunities. Yeah, she can go over here. She can invade the farm like this, but she does not know. Why is she playing so quickly? I think she needed to think for a little bit longer. Like, maybe if she just were to go here, she could have set up a monastery for herself. Yeah, I think this was probably the first misstep of the game that we've seen, but it's maybe Lorena going on tilt a little bit after Green's invasion. Like, how did he pull that off? Everything was completely closed. That's just incredible. Yeah, I believe now it's... Well, actually, no. Lorki can still win. I think now she needs to count points. And she can go over here and drop a farmer. Oh, but she didn't. She decided to simply equalize the city. She decided that's enough, and it could be the case. Maybe it is enough, actually. Maybe it is enough. Yeah, because she's going to get the last road monastery, and she's going to just get her monastery points. Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily. I mean, she could get that. As Bluste, I guess you probably just go here, drop a farmer, and prepare a monastery spot for 7 points, something like this. I would expect this game to be decided by whoever draws the last monastery. So whilst Green is thinking, let's count the points, +6 for Lorki, equal 9 versus 6, that's +3, so that's +9 for Lorki. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 9 minus 21, -12 for Lorki. +15 for the monasteries, +3 for Lorki. And this city is 9 points. So that's -6 for Lorki right now. And this means that this monastery will be enough. Huh. But she's not getting the monastery, so Lorki is going to get the 4 points here. And actually, Bluste is going to get the monastery here. Or in any other spot for that matter. And with that, he's going to win. Yeah, I believe it was just a coin flip for the monastery. That's what it was. I mean, this 2-point road doesn't really make much sense. I guess the idea was disallowing Lorki going here and meepling that new road himself if Lorki were to draw a curve. So 3-point move for Lorki, not recognizing that there was a 4-point move. I don't believe it makes a difference. And Zvonimir Vlaich with the swindle of the championship for sure. To come back from that. Of course, you pick one out of many fantastic monastery placements. Yeah, I believe Lorki missed a chance with this move. Where actually she could have gone over here with an almost unblockable field invasion, because there were still 2 curves and a monastery, and I believe with the actual tile draw she would have invaded the field. So, but I think, like, based on the timing of the move, I think this was definitely tilt. It's kind of like not adjusting that for the situation that, oh, you know, I was in the lead, and then suddenly, bam, your opponent is in the lead. So yeah, I mean, overall, I think, like, Lorena played really, really well. It's just Zvonimir with the amazing swindle, and this is our second finalist. I'm not sure if it's going to be a 3rd place match. If somebody knows in the chat, please do confirm. But of course, most of our eyes will be focused on the finals. All right, so so far as Zvonimir, of course, starting as sort of one of the first players in the Croatian community, but also, well, of course, and the highest rater, so one of the highest rated players, one of the favorites. But his tournament journey, like, has not been smooth so far. So first of all, okay, not only did he qualify only from 8th place in the tournament, that 8th place was actually tied with somebody else, and it was with tiebreakers, with very dubious tiebreakers that Board Game Arena has. And then both of the games here, and I mean both of the semifinal and quarterfinal matches, he had to win 2 against 1 as opposed to 2 against 0. So I don't expect the final to be any easier already. I presume they want some sort of 5-minute break, but I don't really need a break. I have all my hot beverages here. So I'll just stay here. Also, I realized that I never asked how the sound was. At least it seems that with all the delays and interruptions, we've sorted that out, but I checked the sound beforehand and it was fine. But I'm always worried about it. Always. So let me know, like, if the sound is too loud, too soft, or anything. Alright, let's keep refreshing. So the game has been created and it has started. Right, the grand finals. Why do finals all have to be grand? Anyway, grand finals. Okay, I'm just gonna put finals. of the first ever online championship of Croatia. And we have Philip with one of the national colors as his meeple color, with already 8 points. And the game has already reached its middle game stage quite early on, so lots of quick points for both players. And we already see some farmers. 9 points on this field already. 0 points on this field for green, but of course when this city over here is completed, the fields will merge into something much bigger. Yeah, I believe it's going to be one of those really wet boards with lots of scoring opportunities. So now Bluste is already dropping yet another farmer, preparing to complete a farmer here. And if he wants to do so, Buha could actually go here and drop, no, a farmer. Certainly very much threatened. Well. So it looks like it's a huge tile for Bluste here, as he manages to complete a 12-point city and to just nearly destroy 2 meeples of blue. Not only that, there are only 2 tiles that fit into that square, the 2 daggers, and he needs them in both places. So really rough situation for blue. But what blue has going for him is he actually needs this tile in only one place. So now, of course, I think he's gonna doesn't defend, doesn't block the city. I don't know about that. Okay. Yeah, So this, of course, seems to be a bit of an impatience. Because look at, yeah. There were still tiles that fit into that square later on. And he could have simply protected this square and then later finished this city. Usually uses this for field invasion. Bluste probably going to complete his field invasion, but he does not. Greedy getting 2 points. But given the fact that... Wait. To be honest, simply to deny further farming opportunities, he will preserve a 3 versus 2 majority, and that's going to be enough. Well, again, he goes for the greed. Players exchange quick points. Now Bluste is threatening to finish a big city here. So that's fortunate for Philip that this is not the tile that Bluste drew. But this is actually a fantastic tile for Philip because he now gets to go over here and block this invasion square. And this would mean that the field would be tied. Oh no, that's... I would have to say that's a massive blunder. We appear to be back. As Buha creates an attacking platform against Green City. And Green defends it from invasion. That's really nice. Green gets quick points. And probably Buha has to go here. But he doesn't. And... Okay, I don't understand something. Why Zvonimir wouldn't invade this field over here? Is there something... Well, okay, surely he's gonna go now and invade the field. Yeah, finally. I wonder why this was so long delayed. But Green with the field majority and some nasty threats. So there isn't a tile that goes here. But there is still one tile that goes here. This is a great opportunity for Buha to drop a farmer, but he doesn't do that. Bluste gets his meeple back from the city. Or does he? It was a worthy consideration of actually sacrificing this tile and going over here simply to prevent Blue from dropping a farmer. Probably that's a bit too extravagant. But yeah, somehow Blue stays ahead, only 3 points in the scoreboard. The most important lead that matters is his lead on the field, 2 against 1. And Buha needs to find a field invasion platform. He's going to start with 3 points. Makes sense. Because these 3 points actually open a bunch of field invasion platforms, like here. That's a bit of a painful move. As Buha cannot finish his city, Bluste blocks it just in time. Buha, of course, drops a farmer trying to connect. But this should not be enough, as Bluste has 7 points in the scoreboard and has this ruin, which is greater than this monastery. So in order to win, Buha would need to somehow finish the city and then do something else. And I'm not quite sure that there are tiles that allow him to do that. Actually, there is one tile. This guy. The barbed wire tile. But Bluste has a variety of ways of dealing with this. Yeah, this is one of them. Just simply gets points. Another one was trying to get an invasion opportunity for the field. Maybe just drop another farmer for 3 points. He could do that now if he wants to. But I believe any move is now 100% simply because Buha will not have enough time to reinvade the field. Let's say even if he draws the one remaining city cap that fits here, he'll get 8 points. He'll be +1 on the scoreboard. But this road alone is more than 8 points. Oh, that's just filthy by Bluste, getting 3 points and an invasion opportunity. And like, I'm not going to check, but I'm pretty sure he counted that they are curves remaining. Oh no. Okay, are there not curves remaining? That's interesting. No, there were curves remaining. So that was actually a really nice move here by Bluste, trying to sneak in another farmer. Of course, it didn't really matter that much at that time, but certainly deserved the style points. Alright, so the first game goes to the rating favorites, and Zvonimir Vlaich is 1 game away from the title. Actually, the final score fairly close. Only +7 for Zvonimir. Yeah, and I believe that was really that one rushed move for Blue. Blue could have completed the city and the monastery at some point. And then, of course, after that, Green was just busy creating threats, invading fields, city here, and it was just too much to come back from. Alright, so we will be taking another 2-minute breaks apparently. So as usual, we're going to go to the player's profile page and just keeping refreshing. Oh yeah, I of course should put the score here. Bluste and Buha. There we go. not started yet. I presume they're going to start at an even 1840. So that means hot beverage time. Right. See y'all in a minute. Alrighty, did they start? Did they start? Yes, they did. Already 2 minutes ago. Like, yeah, with this board game arena interface, it's very hard to notice when exactly they're starting the game, but it is what it is. So, Bluste already with 8 points here. Buha with an early farmer. Maybe they saw how hard it was to maintain parity on the big field last time, so they decided, you know what? This game, let's get there early. Bluste gets a monastery. I would have preferred the other spot, actually, strongly. I think that the other spot was better because it already has another monastery spot nearby. But this is certainly understandable. 6 points. But it also really expands Blue's field a lot. But it's not a problem for Green because Green just decides, you know what, like, I'm invading this field anyway. So it doesn't matter if it's big or not. Now Buha continues his road, chooses not to expand the field just yet, not to invade the field just yet, rather. Whoa, not loving that move from Bluste here. That's kind of, I would just have to say that's a mistake, just leaving that city cap like there and also threatening their own city, but not something that I've seen from him actually very often, but this could be a strategy tailored to this specific opponent. But normally you really want to invade fields with road tiles early in the game, because like early in the game there is not that much urgency in field fighting. And so you can try to optimize the tiles a little bit more of how you invade. But also there were some scenarios how this city was possibly getting blocked, but let's see. Buha kind of pre-building a city, and honestly, wait a second. If he just gets like a city cap or something, that's a very easy 14-point city with 2 Doritos, with loads of Doritos remaining. How interesting. And look at this. Bluste is kind of trying to break Buha's city a little bit. And, well, it's working. How interesting. And look at this, look at this, look at this. So, Buha one tile away from finishing his city. Bluste can't really do anything about it. He probably has to go over here. Given that there's some of the... But he doesn't do that. Oh, but instead he starts a ring road and he tries to block the farmer here. How interesting. And I have to say that's a pretty good move, I think. The issue that I have with this is that even if you get the tile that fits into this square, blue has a route to the farm from here. And it is far more likely than it may seem. In the meantime, Buha gets a fantastic 8-point monastery. And they might even want to go for that city as well. Instead, they choose something a little bit different. But you see, like, they can't meeple the city before they get this city cap over here. Because let's say if they go over here and meeple this city, then green's going to take a curve and block this square. So, like, timing matters a lot. In the meantime, Bluste is attempting to fully block this square, and Buha successfully defends. There's still a tile that fits here. But a good thing that Buha has going for him is the fact that he has almost successfully blocked this little city of Bluste. Only one tile that's left to fit into this square, and even if he draws this one tile, there's no guarantee that green will successfully complete this city. Overall, very tense game. Okay, Bluste deciding to, wow, not meeple that city, but just pre-build it. That's very, very interesting. Now he starts a new city himself, and Buha cannot do anything about it. Instead, he goes for the block, but will Bluste defend? I think he should. Or maybe not. Maybe actually it doesn't matter. Maybe it's better to just go over here and drop a farmer and abandon this meeple altogether. And this is exactly what he decides. He said, you know what? 50% is not good enough. If you want to block me, just block me. Like, with blocking and saving meeples, it's also something that takes a lot of skill. Of course, you know, part of the skill is to recognize when and how to block, and part of the skill is to recognize when and how to defend. But the big part of this is to recognize when actually not to defend, when defending a meeple is not worth it. So I would think it's excellent prioritization from Bluste as he drops yet another farmer trying to invade. Well, plus 34 on the scoreboard. So Buha really needs to start finishing some cities soon. So he needs this tile. Oh, but he gets his tile for the field invasion. That's super important. Now, Bluste, does he... Wow, he just gets the monastery, but gives Buha a meeple back, and this is the chance for Blue to prevent his city from getting blocked. Bluste getting 4 quick points, and this still feels already worth 6 points. Maybe actually it's good enough. Buha, with the monastery, will he start a new monastery? Will he preserve the meeples for something better? Yes, he decides that he will need to fight for the field. 4 quick points for Bluste. Blue with a straight line. Perhaps here for an invasion? Because it seems to me, or maybe here, to try and block the square completely. But the problem, if we go here, and if we go here and if we block the square completely, Bluste will still have a route to the field like this all the way from outside. So it's probably better to use the temporary meeple advantage to actually try and accomplish some field invasions. Yeah, so I think that was a bit of a missed opportunity here from Buha. Buha could have already gone here and got a meeple on the farm. Because tying the farm, I don't believe it's going to be enough. He's going to need to win the farm outright. And it's almost not understandable. How did Bluste get so much stuff on the scoreboard? Well, I guess there are these 2 monasteries and this small city, but it all just happened so quickly. So yeah, finishing the city only ties on the scoreboard, but Bluste still has Monastery and the field invasion threat. So Buha needs to come up with something quick, as Bluste draws the penultimate crossroads to get 11 more points on his scoreboard and a meeple back. This is looking great for green. Buha with the last crossroads. And he decides to use it for a field invasion. How fun! I mean, it could have done that earlier, I guess. But actually, all that Bluste needs to do is just go here and invade like this. Just drop a farmer here. And you can tie the game. Instead, he decides he wants to attack this city. Not sure about this prioritization, but maybe it works out. We presume we're going to see a block there, which would be a full block, in fact. I believe there are no daggers remaining, but I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. There are no daggers remaining of any kind, so this move would be, in fact, a complete block. And just in time. Nothing really that Buha could have done about it. Well, maybe he could still win the field. That would be an option. So some quick points and the fields, but even that might just not be enough. Wow, that is an option too. I like it. It is technically still possible to finish the city. Bluste, of course, with the block. And now I don't think it's possible to finish that city. Yeah, maybe just getting the quick points was probably better. Because 4 points here, 3 points here. This is almost the same number of points as you get from the city, but without risk. And even then, the situation was quite difficult. Oh, and to rub it in, Bluste ties the field. What a sequence. What a sequence of events. Bluste even decides to reinvade the field again, which I'm not even sure is possible. Well, probably is. I don't know if Zvonimir typically counts tiles pretty quickly. So I would assume that the last tile is a road. I'm not sure what the don't know what the last tile is. And okay, it's not a road. That was a bit of an unnecessarily flashy move, but it does not really matter. What a performance here in a duel that was close to being close, let's say that. So the reigning champion of Croatia in person is also the first ever online champion, even though they're very close to being eliminated from the tournament multiple times in the group stage and in the semifinals in particular. Right, that's it. Plus 35. So players are saying thank you for each other. Expert level players. Expert level players. And maybe pull the like button if you enjoyed the stream or the results thereof or any part about this, despite some of the technical difficulties we may have encountered earlier. And subscribe to this channel if you want to see this type of content more than once. Thank you so much for watching, and